Happy Prince, a story by Oscar Wilde, retold here by Joy Cowley and illustrated by Hye-ryeon Jang. In the middle of a city stood a statue of the Happy Prince. The statue was covered in pure gold. His eyes were blue sapphires. There was a red ruby on his sword. Everyone admired the prince. "We're lucky to have this statue. Oh, what a beautiful prince. He looks like an angel." One day, a swallow came to the city. When night fell, it looked for shelter, and it saw the statue of the Happy Prince. "I will sleep here tonight," it said. The swallow slept between the feet of the prince, but was awakened by falling drops of water. The swallow looked up and saw that the Happy Prince was weeping. "Please tell me why you're weeping," said the swallow. The prince said, "Everyone calls me the Happy Prince, but I see many sad things in the city. Now, who is this Happy Prince? Why was a statue made of him?" While he lived in the palace of Sans-Souci, where sorrow was not allowed to enter. When he was alive, he would play with his companions in the garden. Around the garden ran a very high wall, but he never cared to ask what lay beyond that high wall. All he cared about was everything around him, everything that's beautiful. And then he died. His people made a statue of him, set up so high that he could see all the ugliness and misery of his city. The prince continued. He told the swallow, "In a narrow alley lives a poor woman. She is very tired, and the son is sick. He has a high fever, but she has no money to buy the medicine that will cure her son. Little swallow, will you do something for me? Take the ruby from my sword and give it to that poor woman." With the ruby held in its beak, the swallow flew to the woman's house and dropped the ruby on the table. The woman cried, "What a miracle! Who has brought us this ruby? I can now buy some medicine for my son." The next day, the swallow said, "Happy Prince, I must leave you. Winter is coming, and my friends have already left for warmer lands." "Oh, little swallow, stay one more day," said the prince. "In an attic, a young man is writing a novel. He has had no food for days. He is nearly fainting from hunger. Take the sapphire from one of my eyes and give it to that young man." "Oh, dear prince, I cannot do that," said the swallow, and he began to weep. "Swallow, swallow, little swallow, do it as I command you," said the prince. The swallow did not want to pluck out the sapphire eye, but it did as the prince asked, and took the sapphire to the attic. The young man was so overjoyed that he wept with gratitude. The next day, the swallow said, "It is getting colder. I really must go." "Oh, swallow, my friend, just one more day," begged the happy prince. "Please. The match girl in the city square has dropped matches in the sewer. Her father will be very angry when she gets home. Will you take the sapphire from my other eye and give it to the little match girl?" "Oh, I cannot pluck out your eye. You will not be able to see," cried the swallow. "That does not matter," said the happy prince. "I will be all right. Please do this for me." So the swallow took the other sapphire eye and dropped it into the hand of the little match girl, who cried, "Oh, what a pretty gem this is! It must be worth a lot of money." The swallow flew back to the prince. "Now you can't see anything. I will stay here and be your eyes," it said. "No, little swallow," said the happy prince. "Go to the warm land before it is too late." But the little bird refused and again slept between the prince's feet. The next day, the prince said to the swallow, "Fly around the city. Tell me what you see." The swallow flew from street to street. When it came back, it told the prince about all the poor people it had seen. The prince said, "My body is covered with sheets of pure gold. Take it, give it to all those poor people." Bit by bit, the swallow took the gold off the prince's body and gave it to the poor. The happy prince now looked quite dull and grey. Winter came and snow started falling. Being cold and tired, the swallow could not fly. It kissed the feet of the prince. "Goodbye, my prince," it said, and then died. At that moment, a curious crack sounded inside the statue, as if something had broken. The leaden heart had snapped into two. The next day, the city's mayor said, "What has happened to our statue? The happy prince has changed to a beggar. Take the statue down and throw it away." The swallow was thrown on a rubbish heap, and the prince was dumped on a fire. But the fire could not melt the heart of the happy prince, and his heart was thrown on the rubbish heap beside the dead swallow. God asked one of his angels to find the two most precious things in the world. And what did the angel come back with? The angel came back with the swallow and the heart of the happy prince. And what did God say? "You have made the right choice. In my garden of paradise, this little bird shall sing forevermore. And in my city of gold, the happy prince shall praise me." The Happy Prince, a story by Oscar Wilde.